Good afternoon, all my lovely, funny, wonderful YouTube subscribers and friends, creative peeps, and peeps that keep inspired. Welcome into Bailey Nectar Cat on the Prowl Creations for a stitch tutorial. Today's tutorial is going to be out of this book called 280 Crochet Shell Patterns by Darla Sims. The pattern is called Short Stems, and it can be found on page 17 of this book, and it is pattern number 26. If I remember, I will definitely try to insert the link in where you can find this. I purchased it on Amazon about 1.5 years, 2 years ago maybe. The cost of the book, and I bought it brand new, is $24.95 US, $29.95 Canadian. Yes, you heard me right. Close to $5 difference. Actually, it is a $5 difference US to Canadian, and that was over 1 year ago. Just saying. The book is published by Leisure Arts, and I bought it off of Amazon. So this is the book, and I will try to link the description, or I will try to link the book to Amazon in the description box for any of you that wish to buy it yourself. Probably will be able to get it for less than what I paid for it, especially if you buy a used one, which normally, like, you know, if you buy a used one, they normally come in pretty decent shape. Just saying. Just saying. Okay, so that is the book that we are going to be working out of. I am going to be doing a bunch of different tutorials. As you can see, I've marked down a bunch of different ones that I plan on taking out of the book and showing you. So there we go. That is the book. Now, what we are going to do is now, because I'm actually in my craft room, because neighbors are, you know, being neighbors, and it is a Saturday, and there are grandchildren visiting, and dogs barking, so I had to reset up in my craft room, and I'm kind of hoping and praying that my butt will sit in this chair and take me through it. So, what is it that we are going to be creating? Well, let's take a look. I have two swatches here. One I did in a variegated, and yes, I have done this tutorial video now 4 different times because I'm having technical issues. Don't ask me why. All right, so I have done it. This is in a variegated. Let me make sure I'm holding it to the camera the right way. Or are you upside down? Let me see. I can't see. I can't see. Is it that way, or is it this way? Oh my goodness gracious me. Cameras. I hate cameras. Anyways, if you stretch it out, you will be able to see that there are what looks like trunks and tree sprouts. Let's see, maybe this way. It's very hard to see into my camera. Yes, because I'm looking at it from a very weird angle. But this was done in a variegated yarn. The yarn I used for that one is a basic stitch anti-peeling yarn. It is a 4-weight, of course, and the color of this one was called Two Pines. So that one is that specific swatch, and then we have this swatch, which I did and will be using for the tutorial today for today's pattern. I'm not sure if I'm holding this right so that you can actually see it. I don't know. It's very hard for me to see. But for tutorial purposes, This is the one that I will be using today. And the yarn that I am using is called Brava. It is a worsted weight yarn. It is called, the color is Peapod. It is 218 yards a skein. It is also classified as a 4 weight. So, once again, that's the Brava. And this is the swatch that I did. And this is what we will be making today. There are 2 repeats in this. So it is, because it is rows 2 to 5 repeat, that's what I'm going to be showing you in addition to the foundation chain. So, you will need yarn. You will need a crochet hook. For today's purposes, I am going to be using a 5.5. And I can never find my 5.5. I don't know if you can see that. Where is it? Where are you? Show it. It's a 5.5. Trust me, guys, it's 5.5. And it is a clover hook. All right. You will need scissors. You will need a darning needle to sew in your ends. And as always, I like to recommend a couple of stitch markers so that you can mark your first and last stitches. It makes it easier for finding when you get to the end of the row. Trust me, sometimes I can eyeball it. Sometimes I just have a really, really hard time. I don't know. But that is what we will be using today. And I am going to be following my written instructions because it's easier for me to follow. So I'm just going to put that on the side. I put my yarn, there it is, right there in my little bucket. So it's going to be easy for me to just grab. I place that on the floor beside me. And this way I don't have yarn flying all over the place. No, I don't. So just a couple of things to mention before I get started. It is called short stems. That is the name of the pattern. And it is done in multiples of 6 plus 2. So when you're doing your foundation row, it's 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 to your desired length. And then what you will do is you will add on 2 once you have completed your chain. For tutorial purposes today, I am only going to be doing 3 repeats of 6, which will give me a total of 18 chains. And then I will add my 2, which will give me a total of 20 chains. This is your foundation row or your setup row, whichever you prefer to call it. That is what it is. So, for this one, I am doing a total chain of 18, which is 3 multiples of 6 plus 2. So, and the other things that I would like to mention as well is that chain 3 counts as your first double crochet. A chain 5 will count as your first double crochet, and a chain 2. Chain 1 does not count as a stitch. Normally throughout the pattern you will find, as we're repeating and going along, that normally after you do a single crochet, it will be followed by a double crochet or a series of the 5 double crochets. That is the general rule throughout the entire pattern. So it's a single, and then that will be followed by doubles. After the doubles, it's followed by a single. After the single, it's doubles. You get the idea, right? Okay, so let's start this now. And let's hope that this works out this time, and I don't have to do too much. What you want to do is you want to create a slip knot. The way I create my slip knot is I wrap it around my finger like an X kind of thing, and I kind of grab it that way. Then I pull this one up forward, and I grab the one that's tightest around my finger right there, and I pull. And then you can make that tight on your hook. Now remember also throughout that the chain on your hook does not count as a stitch. For those of you who are a little bit more seasoned in crochet, you already know this, but for anybody who is beginning, it's a very important note to take. To do a chain, basically you are yarning over and you are going through as such. You want to go ahead and do that a total of 18 times in order to make up this swatch. And I will meet you when we do that. 18 chains and 2 for a total of 20 chains. All right, I have done my 20 chains, which is multiple of 6s. So it's 3 times 6, which is 18, plus the 2. To start off, and I'm going to be using the back bumps pretty much, or what you can call the back bumps, and the V part, which is at the bottom here. At the bottom, you'll see that you have like a V and a top part here. I am only going to be using those for my foundation row. Because I find it gives it a sturdier foundation. And what you are supposed to do now is, and remember, this chain on your hook does not count. You are to go into the second chain from your hook. So that would be 1, and that would be 2. And your repeat for this row is basically you're going to go into that chain, and you're going to start off with a single crochet, which is yarn over, go in and pull through both loops on your hook. I am going to mark off that single crochet. If I can get my slip thing in there. There we go. And now what you are going to do is you're going to skip 2 chains, 1, 2. Into that third chain, you are going to place 5 double crochets. To do a double crochet, you yarn over your hook, go into the chain, pull up a loop, bring it through. You will now have 3 chains on your hook. Yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over, go through 2. Again, double crochet is yarn over, go into your chain, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, and go through 2. You will place a total of 5 of those in that one chain. We just did 2. Let's go ahead and do another 3. 1, 2, and 3. Now, if you will notice, once you have done those 5, you can see that it has pulled your chain. And it could be very easy to miss the next chain. So be very, very careful when you're doing it, not to miss that next chain. So you're going to skip 2, 1 and 2, and then into the very next. It's a single crochet. Skip 2, and then it is 5 double crochets. Now I will try very hard to put all the instructions into the description box so it'll be easier for everybody to follow along, just in case you do not have the book. Maybe I'll even turn on closed captionings. I don't know. All right, skipping 2 and single crochet. That is your repeat for your foundation row. It's single crochet, skip 2, 5 double crochets. Skip 2, single crochet. Skip 2, 5 double crochets. I will meet you back once I have completed my foundation row. I have come to the end of my, or getting very, very close. I have 3 chains left. Now remember, you got to skip 2 when you're doing it. When you start with a single crochet, you will end with a single crochet. When you start with a double crochet, you will end with a double crochet. That is the rule throughout this pattern, just as well as the after every double is a single. After every single is doubles. So this is how we're going to do it. Since we started with a single crochet, you will skip those last 2, and in the very last chain, you will put 1 single crochet. This is the end. And what your work should look like at the end of your foundation chain. On to the repeat rows. Repeat rows are rows 2 to 5, but you will find them pretty repetitive and easy to follow. So let's go on to let's go on now, not on 2, but let's go on now to row 2. Oh my goodness. All right. So row 2, I have to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And turn my work around. Now what you have to do is you have to skip 2. Now remember that chain 5 counts as your first double crochet and a chain of 2. You're going to skip 2 double crochets and into the top of the third of that group. Okay, you have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Into the top of the third one, you will place a single crochet. You will chain 2. Into the single crochet from the previous round, you will place a double crochet. You see how that rule is falling into place there? All right. Chain 2. 1 and 2. Again, find the center of your cluster of 5, and in the top of that third one, place your single crochet. Chain 2. Find your single from the previous row and place a double crochet. Chain 2. Again, into the top or the center or the third double crochet of your 5 from the previous round. Into the top of that third one or the center one, whatever you want to call it, you will place a single crochet. You're going to chain 2, and at the very end, you are going to end with 1 double crochet. Now remember, we had started with a double and a chain 2, and we are ending now with a double. So you will place 1 double crochet. Hello, come to mama. And that very last one, and make sure that you get both legs, guys, of that stitch. All right, there's 2 there. Make sure you get both. Okay? And you will end with your double crochet. That is row 2 completed. Now remember, these are your repeat rows. Okay? Rows 2 to 5 are your repeat rows. So, to start row 3, we have to chain 3. Now remember, I said chain 3 counts as your first double crochet. So go ahead and chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Turn your work around. And automatically you are going to place 2 more double crochets into that very first stitch. All right. So including your chain 3, you will have a total of 3 double crochets in that first stitch. All right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mark off my third one so it's easier to find when I get back to the end. So now what you are going to do is into the single crochet from the previous round. You're going to skip that chain 2 and you're going to find that single crochet, and what you are going to do in that single crochet is you are going to place a single crochet. So go ahead and find that after your chain 2 and single crochet. Now what you're going to find is you have a standalone double crochet. Remember we did a double crochet in the previous? Into that standalone double crochet, right there, you are going to place 5 double crochets. So you go in, making sure you have both loops on your hook, I mean the V, and you go ahead and you put 5 double crochets into that standalone double from the previous round. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. Into your single crochet, you will place a single crochet. Into your standalone double crochet, you will place 5 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So basically what you're doing is you're skipping over those chain 2s. Into the single crochet, you will place a single crochet. Now remember, we started off with a chain of 5 from the previous round. So what you want to do is you want to find the third chain from the hook, which is 1, 2, and 3. And in that one, what you will do is you are going to place 3 double crochets. So go ahead and find that chain, top of the chain 3 from the chain 5 that you started with, and place your 3 double crochets. We started with 3 and we're ending with 3. And this is what it should be looking like so far. On to row 4. Row 4, you have to chain 1. Turn your work around. Now remember I said chain 1 does not count as a stitch. Into that very, very, very first stitch, you will place a single crochet. I'm going to mark off my single crochet. And we shall go on. So now what you are going to do is you're going to chain 2 and skip the next 2 double crochets. All right, so chain 2, this is row 4. Find your single crochet. You're going to skip over those next 2. You're going to find your single crochet, and you're going to double crochet into that one. You're going to chain 2. Now we're back to those 5 double crochets that we did from the previous round. What you are going to do is you're going to find the third one. 1, 2, 3. See, there's 5 there. Into the top of that third one, you will place a single crochet. Chain 2. Into the single, you will place a double. This is how you're building basically the tree trunk and your stems to make your treetops kind of thing, I guess, if you want to call it. Chain 2. Find the center of your 5 cluster from below, and into the top of that third double crochet, make your single crochet. Chain 2. Into your single, you will do a double. Chain 2. And because we started with a single crochet, you will be ending, like I said, with a single crochet. So go ahead and single crochet into the last or the first stitch from the previous row, which is basically the top of your chain 3. That is now row 4 completed. Row 5, you chain up 1 and you turn your work around. And once again, you're going to single crochet into the top or into that very first stitch. And I'm going to mark it off because I like to do that. Alrighty. You're going to skip the first chain 2 space. You're going to find your standalone double crochet from the previous row and into that standalone double crochet, which comes right after that chain 2. That is where you place 5 double crochets. So that's 1. Let me just pull up some more yarn. That's 2. That's 3. That's 4. And that's 5. You're going to find your single from the previous row and you're going to single crochet into that. You're going to find your standalone double, and into the top of that standalone double, you are going to put 5 double crochets. Now in this row, there is no chaining in between because you're placing 5s and 1s and 5s and 1s. The other ones you're not. So row 5 is you chain 1, turn your work around, single crochet into that very first one, and then find your standalone double and place 5 double crochets. Then skip over to your single crochet from the previous and single crochet. Skip that chain 2 and into the top of that standalone double. Once again, you will place 5 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Skip over your chain 2 into your single. You will make a single. Do you see how that rule is coming into place, guys? It's like after your doubles is a single, after a single are your doubles. So it's always going to be like that mostly throughout the pattern. You're going to continue to do that in your standalone doubles. You will create 5 double crochets, 2, that's 3, that's 4, and that's 5. And because we started with a single, we will be ending with a single. So go ahead, make sure you've got both legs, and do your single crochet. That is your 5 rows. We will go through that one more time, everybody, just so that you know what's going on. I will repeat that one more time. So this is what your pattern should be looking like. And I don't know if I'm holding it the right way. Or is it that way? No, I had it right the first time. There we go. All right, guys. Sometimes your camera angle is like really, really, really bad. And as you can see, it starts to look like little trees. If you pull it apart, you're going to see that it actually looks like little trees. All right. Let's go through the repeats one more time. And then I am going to leave this off with you and let you enjoy. All right. So, repeat rows are 2, 3, 4, and 5. We are now going back to row 2. Row 2 is where you chain up 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you turn your work around. Now remember that chain 5 counts as a double crochet and a chain 2. You are going to immediately go over to your 5 from the previous round and find the middle one, the third double crochet, and into the top of that you will place a single crochet. You will chain 2 and into the single, because we just did a single now. Okay, remember that. After you've done your chain 2, you find your single crochet, and into that one you will create a double crochet. Chain 2. Find the middle of your 5 cluster, and in the top of that one you place a single crochet. Chain 2, 1 and 2. Into the single crochet you will place a double crochet. Chain 2. Into the top of your 5 cluster, into the third one, the middle, the third one, there's 5 there, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Into that 5th one, you place a single crochet, chain 2, and you will end with a double crochet, because remember, we started with a double and a chain 2. So there's your chain 2, and you end with a double crochet. On to repeat round number 3. In this round, you will do a chain of 3. 1, 2, and 3. You will turn your work around, and you will go right back into that very first stitch and place 2 more double crochets for a total, including that chain 3, of 3 double crochets. I'm going to mark that first one for myself. All right. Now what you are going to do, I'm going to go back to row 3. My notes, very important, okay? Because I'm doing a tutorial, so, like, I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing, but I am paying attention to what I'm doing. So we did 3 double crochets in that very first one. You are going to find the single crochet from the previous round, and in there you are going to place a single crochet. You are going to skip over your chain 2, and in the top of your standalone double crochet from the previous round, you will place 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You're going to skip over the next chain 2 space, and into that single crochet you will do a single crochet. Skip your chain 2 into your standalone double crochet. You will place 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Skipping over your chain 2 into the single, you do a single. Into your last stitch, because we started off with 3 double crochets, you will end with 3 double crochets into the top of your chain 3 from the previous round. So there's chain 1 and 2, and then you have 3, 4, and 5. So into the top of that third one, you will place your 3 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, trying to keep on camera, and 3. Okay? So now you have just repeated 2 rounds. Round 4, you chain up 1, you turn your work around, remembering that that chain 1 does not count for anything. Into the very first stitch, make your single crochet. You're going to skip over the next 2 chains, or your next 2 double crochets, and into that, am I chaining here? You're going to chain 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, and into that single crochet you will place your double. This is round 4 repeat. Chain 2. Into the middle of the 5 cluster, the third double crochet, the top of that one, you place your single crochet, chain 2. Find your single from the previous, into that one, you are placing a double. Whoops, hello, double. Thank you. Chain 2. Into the top of your 3, you place a single crochet. And I just took too many stitches there. And chain 2. Find your single and place a double. Chain 2, 1 and 2, and because we started with a single, we will be ending with a single. So go ahead and place a single crochet in top of that last one. Row 5 repeat is chain 1 and turn your work around, and immediately go back into it and place a single crochet. We're back where you have your chain 2s, your standalone double crochets, and your single crochet in top of the 5, and then a double crochet. So we did that. We single crocheted, we find our standalone double, and we do 5 doubles in that. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Into your single crochet, which is in the top of that third one from the other one, you place a single crochet. You go back over to your standalone double. In the top of that, you place your 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Skip over your chain 2 into the single, do a single crochet. Skip over the chain 2, find your standalone double, and into that you place your 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You're going to skip over that chain 2, and because we started with a single, we end with a single. So go ahead and single crochet into that last one, always making sure you grab both legs. So now we have completed 2 rounds, okay? A total of 2 rounds for this pattern. And this is what it should be looking like. Now, if you can see it properly, I don't know, are you like, is it like really coming in? I don't know. Let's see if we can get you in closer. This is what it should be looking like. I really hope I'm holding this up the right way. And as you can see, it looks like little trees are happening into it. To end your pattern, if you wish to square it off, you need to end it with round 2, which is also the beginning of your repeat rows. So let's just kind of square that off for you. I'm going to show it to you again. Round 2 is basically where you are going to start doing a chain of 5, which counts as your first double crochet, 1, 2, and 3, and then 1 and 2 for a chain of 2. You turn that around, you find your middle of the 5 cluster, and in the top of that third double crochet, you single crochet. Chain 2. Into the single crochet, you place a double crochet after you've chained 2. Chain 2. Find the center of your 5, and in the top of that third one, go ahead and place your single. Chain 2. Find your single from the previous, skip the 2 next doubles, and double crochet into that single. Chain 2. Single crochet into the top of that third double crochet. From the cluster, chain 2, and you end with a double crochet. Whoops. 1 and 2. Now, what we have just done was we have squared off the pattern so that it gives you a really nice, I don't know if I'm holding this the right way, guys. Oh my gosh, it's so hard to tell. Where is it? This way? I think I had it right the first time. Bear with me, guys. I'm really trying here. All right. So we just basically squared off the pattern. By doing that, we used round 2, which is a repeat row. You are just going to basically continue to do this as your project grows. you can use this pattern. You can make a scarf. You can make a wrap. You can use it in a shawl. You can use it in a blanket. You can make even a pillow with it. It all depends on the yarn you're using. It all depends what you're in the mood to make and create. That is it for the short stem pattern. I hope you enjoyed watching this. Remember, if you wish to square it off, you need to repeat round 2 to finish it off. Okay? So let's recap and go over this. You repeat rows 2, 3, 4, and 5. Your foundation chain is multiples of 6 plus 2. A chain 3 counts as a first double crochet, and a chain 5 counts as your first double crochet plus 2. Chain 1 does not count as a stitch. I hope you've enjoyed watching this. I will put all of the instructions in the description box rather than trying to close caption each row as I went along, because that's where I messed up in take 1, take 2, take 3, and take 4. So I'm just going to leave basically the instructions, in case you don't have this book, in the description box so that you are able to follow or even write it down for yourself so that you can continue to do it. I really hope that you have enjoyed this pattern. I would love to see what you might create with it. And until the next time, everybody, stay blessed, stay inspired, stay creative, and remember, do all things with kindness. I love you all, and have a good day.